Cows come in on each side in the back, and they kind of stand at a little bit of an angle like this. So you put the milkers on from the side, and we swing the milkers then back and forth. We'll get one side washed up and ready and put the milkers on, and then when they're done, we swing them over to this side. Of course, you'll wash that side up and get them ready while they're milking. You just back and forth.
Spray them off with an iodine based hint spray to help sanitize, disinfect. And it's kind of got a soapy feel to it too. There's a whole lot of different kinds. There's a little damp with water. Some people, I like a little bit of water. But you don't put any water on it. It's like trying to dry soap. Dry soap without rinsing off. Get them good, clean. Have your cows good and clean, your milk's good and clean. One thing for sure, we drink it before anybody else drinks it. We don't want a bunch of dirty milk.
When the milk's coming down, it raises the float up, tells the brain that there's milk going in. When the milk quits, you watch that light will come on, you take that out. It has a metal magnet in there and a switch down here. When it drops, the light goes off. When milk comes in, of course, raises that float up, raises it up. It was what they call pulsation. You can feel it. It alternates back and forth, kind of like your hand moves.
Oh, it feels like a heart. It feels like a heart artery.
It hits about once a second.
On that side of the feeder, run them in these indoors to be milked. Then they'll come back out to walk, and they can go back to eating, drinking, laying down, whatever they want to do. There's a hay rack down at the end. They can go eat hay if they want to. Most people have a holding pen that they actually put their cows in. They're nice. We did this just to save money when we built this barn. It's kind of inconvenient at times, but we live with it. Water line coming over just for supply. The big line is a wash line, and then the very bottom line, that has electricity going through it. Now outside here is our chiller to chill the milk back down. Once we pasteurize it, we have to run it through a plate cooler to get it cold again. And that's what all this setup is. And in that little building, there's a unit with glycol that'll be used to run through the plates and bypass the milk. It doesn't touch it, but it'll take the heat out of it and cool the milk back down. When the milk comes over, this is a cream separator. Takes the butter fat out of the milk. And the milk we run through here, the cream will go into the small tank and the milk will go over into that big tank. If we want to run whole milk, we just turn the handles here and bypass this and send the whole milk right over to the pasteurizing tank. You can see all these valves and stuff. This tank will either heat the milk with steam, or you can cool the milk with the glycol. That's what's in the gray lines goes through. This is a jacketed tank. You have a insulation here, and then you have a thin jack space around there for that steam will go through. The milk is what they call fat pasteurization, and just like putting a pot of milk on the stove, except it's bigger. But you'll heat the milk up, and you have to record the milk temperature. This probe records your product, whatever you have. This probe records the airspace, whatever's above the product. The airspace actually has to be 5 degrees hotter than the milk itself. And all of that is recorded over on those chart thermometers, the air and product temperature. So the state can come and look at it and tell if you're doing your job right. You can't just say, yeah, we pasteurized it. They have proof whether you did it right or not. When the milk comes out of this big tank, it's pumped through this line. This is the plate cooler I was telling you about. The first pass, the milk will go in here. There's water running by these plates, and this little tank is simply to reclaim that water. And then the cooler, that glycol, cold glycol, is on these plates, and it should come out of the pasteurizer at about 36 to 38 degrees. It'll then be pumped into this tank. This is a holding tank. It's a double tank, actually. It's split here in the middle. And they're both 500 gallons. And when we're done pasteurizing and we've cooled the milk back down, then it's pumped through this line over to the filler. That's what they're working on. This is just a holding tank for the pasteurized milk. It'll go through the filler, and we have the capability. We can do gallons, half gallons, or pint size bottles. These are the 3 different sizes we're doing. We've had these out playing with them, adjusting up, making sure everything's going to work like it should. And then they get a cap that snaps on them and come on around and off the line. Then we can crate them up in our milk crates, send them into the cooler. We just got a big walk-in cooler to put everything in. It's empty now. We hope to have some milk in it next week. This wash vat will be filled with water that'll come from that little tank where we reclaim. It'll be warm going in, but then we'll inject steam into it to heat it on up to the right temperature, whatever. The first pass, kind of like over in the barn, will be a rinse pass, and then a wash pass with a chlorine-based soap to remove the milk protein. And then it'll be rinsed with an acid-based rinse to neutralize the chlorine. And that also is all recorded, your temperature, your water temperature, the time that you let each cycle wash, so they can tell if you're doing your job or not. Every time we bring milk over from the barn, we have to do an antibiotic check on it. And the first thing we do, they send these positive and negative controls. We'll check them on it, go into the reader to make sure that it's working right. Once that's done, we do another positive and negative control using these snap tests. These are the positive. You reconstitute these positive controls, and then you have a negative control that you check against it. And that's all recorded on this printout. And then you actually do your milk sample. If these two work right. If they're not working right, you got to go back and figure out what's going wrong, because everything has to agree. And like I say, it's all recorded on paper, so you're not gonna you can't just say, yeah, I checked the milk and it's okay. You've got the proof that it was, in fact, clear. This will be our retail area. And when you come in, we hope to have the product right here in the cooler on the racks, the different percents of milk, the different sizes, and the flavored milk. We also want to have butter and possibly cream. We're just waiting to get done and get this all set up like we want to. We want to have some t-shirts and things like that to offer, some other paraphernalia, I guess you would call it.